Welcome to the Black Belt Business Podcast. My name is Matthew Brenner, and today's guest I've been trying to get on for years now, hawking him on Facebook Messenger. We got to get you on. We got to get you on. So, if you want to be a multi-school owner, or you just want to learn how to better run your martial arts schools, this is going to be the episode for you because I have with us Jesse Isaacs.
I'm here. We did it finally, man.
Finally, I'm just really happy you didn't get a restraining order on me, so I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
yeah, no problem, man.
And you're not too far from me from Florida, so hopefully you'll be able to get together at
Well,
some
I
point.
was actually calling the police the other day to make sure that you couldn't come down. So,
Okay, good, good, good.
yeah,
I need a 200-mile
that's
radius
right.
of
That's
you
right.
to come near me.
Yeah, you're only about 45 minutes away. We definitely got to get together, hang out in person, not just online. So,
Yeah, I agree. And so you run a six martial arts schools called Integrity Martial Arts, and it's I think you're part of the ATA as well, right?
we are. I'm going to just kind of give you a little background on myself and my family, and that way you can kind of get an idea of where we're from and what we started. I was born in Springfield, Missouri, actually, and I started martial arts there when I was 6 with my dad. He was my instructor, and we have moved down to Florida when I was about 8, 9, 10 years old, somewhere in that range, to actually Deerfield Beach area, right about where you're at, just north of Fort Lauderdale. Moved to Miami when I was 15, opened a couple more clubs down here, and that evolved into our first location when I was 20 as Integrity Martial Arts. And we've been a part of the American Taekwondo Association since before I was born. In fact, my mom found out she was pregnant with me at ATA's World Championships back in the day. So kind of been part of who I am for my whole life. My dad got his grandmaster title about 2 years ago, which was pretty cool for him. And we've just kind of evolved over the last 21 years into our six locations, and my whole family gets to do it with me. My wife is our CEO of our business. My mom and dad are board members of our business now, and it's just been really, really awesome to be a part of this. Industry and this lifestyle. It's been so cool because you get to meet some amazing people. You get to be on some awesome podcasts, and I've got to travel all over the world to teach and to train and to compete, and it's just been a huge blessing in my life. So it's just been so cool.
So it's obviously it's like it sounds like it's part of your just like DNA in terms of Taekwondo. So when you
It
were a kid,
is.
when you were a kid, was it just like here's what you're doing, like you're just doing it, or was it a choice? Like how did that
That
actually?
that's a great question. I didn't actually become a really good student until I was like 15.
Okay.
I was on and off, on and off. During high school, I played baseball and soccer a lot. I actually had a scholarship for baseball, and I kind of had at that point, 18, 19. I just kind of had to start making a decision on what did I want to do, what I want to do, and I just started leaning into martial arts harder and harder, and realized this is something I could do for the rest of my life. It wasn't something that had to be just for this season of my life, and I just put all my eggs into that basket, and at that point went forward with it. My mom and my father never really forced me to train or to do martial arts. I've seen so many instructors kids come through the industry, and their dad's like, or mom or dad, whoever's like, you're going to train, you're going to be a black belt, you're going to be all these things, and they just burn out. I just haven't seen them really thrive in it. And I have found that when instructors or parents nurture the process for their child that way, in the thought of letting them pick their path, so to speak, that they do much better.
Mm. I want to guess what position you played in baseball.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I'm gonna say left field.
Oh, it's kind of funny. I played left field, third base, and first base.
Okay, all right,
So,
good, nice.
but I was kind of all over the place. But
All
yeah,
right,
man.
cool.
And I
So
love playing baseball, but it wasn't quite the same as hitting people.
got it. Okay. So what do you say to people now? You have a student who, they like Taekwondo, but they're like, hey, I want to go play baseball. Like, how do you handle that sort of objection since you kind of, go
Yeah,
ahead.
absolutely. I think I never want to discourage somebody from going after something they loved. I mean, because if we did that, we wouldn't be on a podcast together. You'd only be doing kick punch or jiu-jitsu. You'd only be doing those things. You wouldn't really be doing a podcast.
Yeah, sure.
I always want to encourage people to explore these other areas that you're interested in. But martial arts should always, to me, be a part of your life. If I'm playing soccer or baseball, the best part about martial arts is you're using the left side of your body all the time. That means you're using the left side, right side of your brain all the time. You're going to be a better overall athlete because of martial arts. Why would you not go parallel this journey? Because also, if you don't continue to do baseball in college or play professionally, this is something you can keep doing actively as an adult the rest of your life. I mean, I started as a child, but I enjoy martial arts as an adult way more than I ever did as a kid. I mean, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any kids yet, so it hasn't really
Hmm.
come up, but I
Right,
do feel like I would I think it would be a little bit painful, right? I'd want them to at least try it at
right,
martial arts and finish a season, like whatever that they say they're gonna do, they're gonna get to a certain belt or a certain goal,
absolutely,
fine. I don't think you have to do it
absolutely.
forever. But I do think you have to make them stick it out for a certain time period.
For sure. When I'm thinking about a student I'm talking to, because I am not at my schools on the front line level. So we have white, orange, and yellow belts come through all the time. But I'm talking about when I've been with a student 10, 15 years, their second degree, third degree, and like, hey, Master Isaacs, I'd like to go try, volleyball. Hey, go explore it. But you've done this for so long. Why would you not continue to get something out of the rest of your life in this? You've already invested so much. So I think depending on where that conversation is and where that student is in the process through the journey, will probably changes the conversation a little bit. I think also, but I mean, how do you feel about martial arts now as an adult compared to as a kid? Where do you think you enjoy it? Where did you enjoy it the most as a child or as an adult?
I think totally two different things. Like when people
Right.
come to me and they're like, "Hey, what style should I do?"
Yeah.
And like, especially people who don't really know martial arts at all, like they're just thinking about getting involved. I'm like, "Well, what do you want out of it?" Right?
That's
Like,
great. That's what I ask also.
yeah, because if you don't know what they want out of it, then you're never gonna really know. Like, I can't be like, "Oh, you got to do jujitsu. Oh, you got to do karate.
Right.
You got to do taekwondo." It's like, do you want to? Do you think you might like striking? Do you think you might like more wrestling? Right?
Hmm.
If my child's young, like they're 5 years old, like would I want them to do jujitsu? Yeah, sure. But I also think jujitsu schools are not as like on average, not always, but on
Right.
average, not as tuned in to the character development skills. They're not as organized. They're maybe not as like kid friendly. So I feel like I would start my kids out in like a karate or taekwondo. Like those are very similar.
Right.
And then eventually, if they want to move to a different style based on what they liked, then I move them to that. As an adult, if you're a 20 to 40-year-old male, then probably jujitsu is probably going to be the route for you if you don't
Right.
mind that physical contact, right? If you want, I don't know, more form and stances and balance and breathing, then maybe a lighter martial art like a kung fu would be better for you. And so it really all
Right.
depends what you want. But I have people ask me who know nothing about it all the time, and I'm like, okay, tell me you asking for yourself or your child,
Right.
and then let's kind of figure out where to go. But the most important thing is like, and tell me if you agree with this or not. But I feel like the most important thing is like not the style at all, but how good the teacher is, because the
Mhm.
style probably doesn't matter if the teacher's not good, and B, convenience to your house.
I,
Like,
I would say that is a really good advice because you're right. I agree with probably 100% of what you said. Especially if somebody's looking to get into martial arts. Hey, what's going to fit the best, for you think your family, but usually the structure and format from a karate or a taekwondo style school usually is a little bit m- more developed on how to get kids to focus because when we start wrestling or jujitsu or grappling, it's a little bit more free flow in the environment and the structure in the class. But then, the proximity to your house, I think it convenience because if you can't commit to something, you're not going to get better. Consistency
exactly.
leads to competence, competence leads to confidence. And
Mm.
if you're not consistently going to class, you will never have competence in what you're doing, and you're not going to want to do it because you don't know what you're doing. So that makes a huge impact. And then the relationship or the development you have with that structure or that instructor is, I think, super important because you want to learn from somebody that is going to invest back into you also. And I think a lot of schools preach it, but a lot of schools don't walk it. And there's a big difference, I think, when you see an instructor that really is investing into you as a student, or if you're a family going into a class. I think you can really tell because that authenticity is, to me, is very transparent.
As I'm curious what you would say. So someone comes to you and they're like, "Hey,
Mhm.
okay, I want to find a good teacher. Cool.
Mhm.
I walk into a martial arts school, how do I know if someone's even a good teacher? Like if I walk into a car repair shop, how do I know they're a good mechanic? Like if you know nothing about it. So what would you tell them to look for in a good martial
Man, I think the first thing that I would really encourage people to look for for in a school is cleanliness. Is it clean? Is the structure on that that's so fundamental? It's so easy to do. It takes no physical skill to do. But if the instructor or manager or owner of that facility doesn't have a clean facility and they're putting it in display in front of you, I can only imagine what's behind the rest of their closed doors.
Mm,
And I would just start with that. And then, I also think just the connection with people on how they're interacting with you and how they're engaging with you is super powerful because obviously some personalities are going to work better with other personalities, without a doubt. And, and then, I think every family does this or every person does this is I would look at their Google reviews. You're going to look at their reviews. You're going to go do it. You're going to do it
yeah.
anyways, no matter
Yep.
what. And I would not focus. You're gonna see the great reviews from the people that love them, and you're gonna get to see the reviews that from the people that don't love them. And everybody's gonna look at that 1 star review, and we have our own 1 star reviews, but we respond back to those 1 star reviews just like their clients. We want to win back,
Mm,
not in a way that it's attacking back to them because they might have a great point. Maybe our school wasn't clean that day. Maybe it smelled that day. Maybe something happened that day. We just bombed. You got to own it. You got to own it. And if I see somebody own it in front of everybody, that's the kind of person I want to be around because I know they're going to be authentic with me and they're going to be real with what they're trying to do. I think that's a really powerful thing to look for.
yeah. If they have all 5-star reviews, to me, that's also a red flag. It's like
Absolutely. I
there's
mean,
got to be some bad
there's
experience
got to
at
be
some point.
something.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, and I know like our Cutler Bay location has a ton of 5 star reviews. But we do have some reviews that are not good. And we try to answer every one of those reviews, 5 star, 1 star, 2 stars, 3 stars, every one of them. Hey, thanks for the great review for that 5 star. I'm so proud to have you guys here. Hey, it's a 3 star. Hey, thanks for reviewing us. We really appreciate your feedback. How could we improve it to a 4 or 5 star? So that we're looking for the feedback. I want to know when I'm winning. Hey, what are we doing well? What do we tell me what I'm doing well so I can do more of that? When I'm losing, also though, hey, I see that we bombed here. You're 100% right. We're going to do better. Thank you for bringing it to our attention. Because then
Yeah.
also too, I mean, sorry, the guys that are having all 5 stars reviews, maybe they are crushing it, right? And I mean, I have also seen this in our industry as well, where people will just go sabotage a school and just drop in reviews. We will actively make sure that we go and check the reviews, pull it across and cross reference it with our student base. You might not even be a student at our school. I don't know if that's fair to do either.
Yeah,
So
no, yeah, those are, I mean, those are just terrible people. I don't know why.
I think so.
Like,
Yeah.
but actually, going in there and reading the reviews just like you would
Mhm.
any other restaurant, right? And please, I mean, you probably feel the same way. If you're a business owner listening to this, I know we take things, especially martial arts school owners.
Absolutely. I know
Don't
we're
take
good. Yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
don't take it personally if you get a bad
Mhm.
review, and don't start arguing with them. You kind of alluded to it. Don't start arguing with them or saying, "Oh, this person's a piece of crap." Da 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 da. We
Yep.
did this
Yep.
because that makes you look bad. Just take it on the
Yeah.
chin, ask for feedback, and then move on.
And sometimes you're getting this review from somebody that is an idiot, is straight up an idiot. But who's the bigger idiot? You or the person that, I mean, the person that's arguing with the idiot or the idiot? You
Good
take
point.
it on the chin and move on.
Yeah.
Exactly right. And I would say too, as a business owner, I took my kids we were at Shake Shack the other day, just, having lunch. And I saw one of the managers just doing a walk through the facility. And the kitchen was immaculate because they have the glass up and everything, and the place looked great. And she walked over to where the doors are. She ran her finger on the door sill, and she just had just a little bit of dust on there. And she started talking to her team about why this was important.
Mm,
Just the details of you taking your time to go through your reviews, make sure your place is clean. Have great conversations with your staff or with your client. That's the kind of place I want to take my family, or even I want to train. And I've been in some really, really crazy martial arts schools. Sorry, thumbs up.
yeah, no.
I've been in some really crazy martial arts schools across the world where I love the training, but I'm not sure if I would want to take my family there.
Mm,
Maybe me and you might want to go train there because we
yeah.
just love doing martial arts with people, but it's probably a different we'll probably have a different threshold for what we're looking for.
Yeah, it's like when you have that friend who's like you're friends with, but like you wouldn't want to like recommend them to another single guy
That's
or
there
girl,
you
you
go.
know, right? Like you'll hang out with them, but you don't want anyone else to know.
Yeah, that's right.
Like an
I
old
think you
friend.
nailed it.
Yeah. So let's transition to the business side. So you have six schools. You started your first one when you were 20. How did you have the cash to open up a school when you were 20 years old?
So when we moved to Miami, we started a club at a church,
Okay.
and we just started as a club. And I was teaching Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I was doing it with my father. So we were teaching Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we did that for about 5 years, from 15 to about 20. And I was going through school at the time to become a nurse and do fire. I was going to do that. I was kind of because I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. And the church that we were doing our club at was like, "Hey, we're growing. We need the facility. We'll give you 6 months." Okay, well, I appreciate that. I mean, I understand. Everything has to change. Um, so we started to look for a place, found a place, and my dad's kind of like, "Jesse, is this what you want to do full time?" And I go, "I think it is." Dropped school the next semester, and we went all in because we had built our club up to about 200 students,
Mm.
and we weren't charging a lot of money. Maybe $50 a month. I mean, it was just something. So we were making about 10 G's a month. Awesome. Well, at the time, 20 years ago, that covered the rent, and that covered, lights, and paid us a little bit and whatever at the time. So we really got to open and start with zero debt, with zero really into it. They gave us money for build out. We almost got to start with negative, I mean, no debt at all. And we just transferred almost all the students over. And then our new members, we raised the prices, obviously, because we're in a new facility and we're going every day, Monday through Friday at the time. And then we just started to build on that and take off on it. So,
Mm.
but that's how we started Integrity Martial Arts as a club, and then we transitioned into a school. And 21 years later, here we are.
So was you and your dad co-owners, or did he just help you with the startup money, or how did that actually work?
We were co-owners, and then just within the last 5 years, have acquired the rest of the business with me and my wife.
Got it, got it. Okay, so
So,
you were co-owners with him for all of Integrity, not just the first one, or just that first one?
for all of Integrity.
For all
So,
of them. Okay, 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 cool.
yeah,
It-
so I wouldn't, and we probably have a very unique business model, so to speak, because I know for a fact that I would not be in the position I am in without my mom and my dad. They have really set me up for success in the martial arts world, but not just the martial arts world, as an entrepreneur as well. And so I'm super grateful to both of my parents because they didn't really have much, but we love doing martial arts together, and it just turned into this other level. So we have always been a family business, and as far as I'm concerned, and as far as long as we will be a family business.
mm. And I'm curious how you keep your family relationships and business relationships healthy because for some people who don't know, like I'm kind of not in the same exact boat as you. But my brother started a martial arts organization. When I joined on, there were already like 12,
Right,
13 schools, right? And
right.
like, since I got on board, we recruited new people and scaled and blah, blah, blah. And, now there's like 30 plus schools, but like when you have two brothers,
Hmm.
right? And my sister's involved, my youngest brother, but other family kind of in and out of it. You can butt heads, right?
Oh,
And
Matt, I think you're preaching to the choir, man.
yeah, yeah,
So when we first started, it was me, my mom, my dad. I have a younger brother, Luke, who's special forces in the Navy. I have a younger sister who's she's a collegiate level volleyball player. She coaches for a couple schools. A younger brother now who's in his mid 20s, but we all were at the school, all of us. So what you're talking about, I totally get. And how do you manage these relationships? Because as a family, you love each other, but at work, sometimes you just want to choke the shit out of each other. um, and it takes a lot of work. I mean, I'm sure you know this. I'm sure your relationship with your family too. There's times when you weren't really wanting to see eye to eye.
yeah. And so, like for us, we were never really in the same location all at once.
Hmm.
So it wasn't
Hmm.
like we operated all this one location. It was like, yeah, we get together for team trainings. And
Right.
so when we disagreed, it wasn't like we had to spend the next 8 hours together. Unless it was a special event, right? But it's not 8 hours a
Right.
week or 8 hours a day for a week or, week on week on week. So I think
Right.
if it was, some of us would be dead and like probably
Yeah.
buried or like
Listen,
lived somewhere.
I'm pretty sure I tried to fire my mom like 4 times. So
Oh my God. If you fire
it
your
wasn't good for
mom,
family dinners, I'm telling you.
oh my God. If you fire your mom, I have to have her on the podcast. But tell me your side of the story. Like that'd be great content.
I don't know, man. We were just not agreeing on something, and I was so young at the time that I didn't. I was horrible at tracking my numbers, horrible tracking the books, horrible at tracking all of that stuff. And my mom did all that, and she was mad at me about something about um I don't know, probably receipts or something, who knows, like I can't remember. And she's like, well, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't even have a business, and there is some truth to that. And I go, well, if it wasn't for me teaching on the floor, being an awesome instructor, we wouldn't have any students, and there was probably some truth to that. And we just cats and dogs it. We just
Yeah.
went at it for hours. I finally was like, Mom, I don't need you, you don't have to work here anymore. And she's like, fine, I quit. She just walked out the door.
Oh my God.
We had some really good conversations afterwards, as far as much more level headed.
Yeah.
And looking back at that now, we laugh about it, but we were so bad at the moment. But obviously, there's some growing that I had to do as a young man, and as a son, and just also as an entrepreneur too. She was not wrong. I needed to learn this stuff, and I wasn't doing it.
Mm,
My ego was definitely too big for my own good, as far as how good of karate I was at. And now we look back at it, it was a really funny moment, but at the
mm,
time it was not funny.
mm. So what about with your wife though? Like, because I've never had I've never had a romantic partner
Mhm.
be a part of my business. I've always been very, uh, I always wanted to keep it separate. Like, I never let that happen. And your wife is your CEO, so you guys like laying in bed, like, oh, did you text back that lead, or like, did you,
Yes,
like, what is your pillow talk?
that's so funny. So we are right now working on buying a building,
Okay.
and that falls all underneath her umbrella. And but we will talk about it all the time. And sometimes she leans over and goes, Jesse, it's 9:30 at night. I'm going to sleep. Don't talk to me anymore. I go, okay.
Yeah. Is this for
So
the school, like a commercial building for one of the schools?
it is. And so we're just kind of waiting back on that. But that's the stuff that, kind of that bleeds over into our personal life all the time, because it's so important to both of us. But yeah, we have to sometimes shut it off. I mean, for a great example too is that this weekend we're going down to Key West to hang out with some friends and just hang out. And we're not going to talk about karate at all. It's just we're not going to do it. And but that's we have great parameters on that, so that we can make sure that if she starts slipping that way, I go, not right now. Or same thing
Yeah.
with me. And it's usually me that crosses the line.
I was gonna say,
I
I
got
don't
to be
really believe
honest.
you. I feel like it's gonna come up at some point. I don't know if I believe a couple days at
No.
Key West. You're not gonna be like, wait, what about that one thing? Like,
So,
but
and the best part about we have such an awesome team right now too is that we don't follow up with our leads online. We don't follow up. We don't have to do any of that stuff. We don't like we're working in our communities. We don't have to set up our community events.
when you
We're
say
working
we,
at
you
our
mean you and
schools.
your wife, not your school.
Correct.
Like, okay,
Yes,
your
correct. Yeah.
instructors are following up with your
Yeah.
lead.
Yeah, that's
And
right. That's
okay,
right.
got
Right.
it. Make sure.
So we have managers. We have a regional director, Miss Dinah Hidalgo, who's amazing. She helps us, function with all of that. So we do get to talk about our business more than in our business, which is a different to me and her a different conversation than worrying about if Johnny upgraded to super duper program, whatever it is,
Yeah.
right? So
Okay.
yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
So then, for you and your wife now getting this new building, is that for a new location or moving a location? Like, what are you guys doing?
So our Cutler Bay location is our first location. It's the one that we started, 21 years ago. It's got about 410 members at it. It does about $1.2 million a year. It's a very strong, healthy martial arts school business. Um, in fact, this last year it won School of the Year for the ATA.
Yeah.
It's just a really cool, and it's a really great school. We've got great team there. It's just an awesome place. I love being there. It's literally like 3 minutes down the road from my house here, and it's just awesome. But we are try to find maybe a permanent home for this place, and it's getting challenging down here specifically because of cost, and the for commercial real estate gets scooped up pretty quick down here.
Are you renting now?
We are. We are renting
Okay.
now.
And is this going to be
So
the first commercial space that you're buying, or?
it would be, yes.
Okay. And
Yeah.
what are you using to search? Do you have a commercial agent using Craigslist?
Yeah, yeah. I would get an agent. I would get an agent because I'd say most commercial deals, they're already done before anybody else is going to even hear about it.
Yeah. Okay. And how's your
So
experience with a commercial agent? Because I've done this a couple times, like
yeah,
alongside my
it's the
brother.
guy we have is pretty good. We've only been with him for about 4 or 5 months now. So, but his communication is strong, and I appreciate that. And he's been very upfront with me on a couple different things. So I've had a good time working through it. And even if we don't get something in the next 4 or 5 months here, I'm not totally worried about it because it's just part of learning how to grow and learning to get to the next level. And if you're if you're not a little uncomfortable, you're not really growing. So you gotta get step into that realm a little bit, I feel like.
Have you
So
looked on
and
your own at all, like the LoopNet or Crexy?
we have, and every time that we were ready to go, it was already gone.
Got
It
it.
was
Got it.
already, it
Okay.
was already gone. It was a you should have been here last week.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah.
It's also
Have
like
and it
one.
has and
Yeah.
you were saying, have you guys, and with your family, I'm sure you guys have purchased multiple buildings.
Yeah, we've purchased and we rent. It just depends like what part of town it is and whether it's even
Hmm.
possible or not. We prefer to
Right.
purchase, but
Right.
sometimes it's just not possible or it's insane rent. And obviously Florida is very expensive, probably more expensive than Philadelphia and New Jersey area.
So we're still like, I mean, just to give you an idea, like this school here is 4,200 square feet. It's about the rent is about $13,000 a month,
Hmm.
and it's by the time we get done with our lease, we're going to be close to 20.
Hmm.
I
Wow.
mean, it
Okay.
moves up pretty quick.
How many more years do you have?
Well, it's coming to the end of it, and
Yeah.
so we're going to be done with that, but we have to re-sign if we're going to stay at this facility. So we're kind of in a rock and a hard spot on timing. So,
How does it
but
end up
it's
being
okay.
20? Is that with Cam, with Triple Net?
Yeah. Mhm, mhm,
Okay, okay.
mhm,
Got it. Cool. So if you're listening to this and you're like a small town, like in
yeah.
Ohio, and you're paying
Yeah.
like 4 grand to 3 grand a month, don't talk to Jesse. All right, he doesn't want to
Yeah.
hear your
Don't talk
crap.
to me. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
I would say our
Absolutely.
average school ranges between 4 and 7, 4 and 8 in terms of like rent. Usually for like a 2,500 square foot space, so
So
maybe
my
2,000.
So we have two of our schools are partner locations. They're a little bit smaller, about 2,700 square feet, 2,800 square feet. Rent's still about seven G's though.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just it's Miami. I mean, it is what it is. So,
Yeah.
and then we have, but most of our facilities are around that 28 to 3,200 square feet.
Hmm. So tell us about your business model when you open up a school. Like, what's the amount of students you look for? I mean, obviously, you want every school to do 1.2 a year. That'd be great,
Yeah,
right? But
right.
like, where are you happy at in terms of student count, revenue? How many instructors do you want to have? Like, what's the general model you shoot for?
Uh, our goal, our goal for each school is to get around 200 members with a student value of close to $300 a member. So that way we're roughly in that, 55 to $65,000 range per school. That's what we love to get to, and that's where we have found that not only do we make a good amount of money, but our instructors and our staff that are there can make a great living and a lifestyle, not just a job. We're really focused on creating career paths for all of our instructors or all of our staff members to be able to do this for a living. Because I feel like this is the most awesome thing I could do with my life, and I want them to be able to share in that too. And some people share that opinion, and some people don't, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm really comfortable with knowing who I am and what I want to do. But the sweet spot for us is about 200 to 250 members, and we try to get there as quickly as we can. And like when we just did these two schools that we opened about a year and a half ago, both of them are about 170, 175 member base. Um, and our goal when we open them is to get to 100 as quick as we can, and then to just steadily grow from there. That way, we're not trying to grow too big too fast, because I found that to be cancerous also, because you're not there. Maybe the instructor, or maybe they're not ready to handle the workload as far as going forward to that. That way, they can steadily build into that to that workload.
So how many instructors do you want to have? You have about 200 students, maybe 250. Is that two
Uh,
full-time, one full-time? How do you?
I feel like the way to service them the best is to have two full times. I feel like it's about one full time employee per 100 students.
Okay. That's a good rule of
Uh,
thumb. I like that.
and that way, okay, we hit that 100 mark, and if you hit 10, 50, you're at 110, 115, 125, 130. Okay, we definitely need to have at least a part timer there, one for sure, coming in 2, 3 days a week to help facilitate, when we're doing, intro classes or upgrades for leads or helping on the floor, whatever the case may be. And then once we hit about that 140 mark, 150 mark, we start talking to whoever the next person is coming in. Hey, we'd like to pull you on full time. This is the number we need to get to. This is the goal. If we hit this goal and we can hit this goal in the next, 3 months consistently for 3 months, we'll pull you on full time. So that way they can see what the next step is. And the person that started there, we also talk about giving them a raise at that point into a manager seat. And then that way they can start seeing their career path unfold before them too. Is that we have instructors, program directors, assistant manager. We have an area leader that might help us with multiple locations. We have a regional director position, and then we have our C-level suite also coming up.
Okay, very cool. So I want to ask about your instructor compensation, how you structure it.
Mhm.
I can tell you about ours too, and then I also am going to ask you how you got to 170 students so quickly in like a year and a half. Like, how do you
Mhm.
actually launch? So first, let's go to instructor compensation. Then I'll ask about new students when you guys first open. So how do you guys structure that?
Our start salary is about 45K.
Okay.
And then they get a percentage of the profit, depending on their tenure with us, if they've been with us a long time or not, just or they're starting off, they get a percentage of profit. They also keep majority of their private lessons, and so there's a lot of incentives where they can make extra money as far as building that up. I'd say most of our instructors that start with us for the first you know 5 years, they started at 45, but they're probably making in a year 65 to 70, just with all of the profit sharing and bonus structures that we have in place. Is that is that comparable to what you guys are doing, or what are
Yeah,
you
we
guys
keep it a
doing?
little bit more simple. Like we don't do like it's not like they keep the majority of their private lessons or anything like that. We earmark 30% of the gross revenue for payroll. And
Mm,
that gets split up between like 100% of the payroll is goes to whoever is whoever is employed. So if you have a
right,
head instructor and program director, so for us that's like they're equal positions. They just do different things.
right,
Like one
right.
moves up on. It sounds like for you, like program director is a little bit lower, like how
Hmm.
you structure it. But
Hmm.
for us, they're kind of the same. It's just one person does the off the bat stuff, one person does the on the mat. Mostly, they still overlap a lot, but mostly. And then 30% of gross revenue is for the total payroll. So like if you're doing let's say $5,000 a month, what is that? What's 30% of 5,000? You good at math?
No, are you kidding me? That's why my mom yelled at me. It's about
Yeah,
1,500.
yeah. So 1,500. No, yeah, 1,500. Well, 5,000 a month would be really bad.
Hmm.
Let's just
Yeah,
say $50,000 a month because 5,000 would be horrific. Like you're not
that'd be
making any.
horrible.
Yeah,
You better close.
yeah. I don't know what you're doing. Maybe you just started. You're working hard, but
Right.
not there yet. So let's say $50,000 a month. 30% of that is 15K. So
Yeah,
15K goes into that bucket for payroll. So the head instructor and program director would each get 7,500.
500.
Now, if they have a part-time instructor that makes $1,000 a month, then each one of those would get 7,000, 7,000. They give up 500 each, and it will go to the other person. So if they want to
Right.
hire more people, cool. It comes from the same bucket. It doesn't come from the profit. So 30%
Yeah,
max of the gross revenue.
of the gross revenue.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I would say just going off of numbers, we're at about 22% on payroll. Just because I was just looking at that the other day per location. I also know there's a lot of other models out there too. Like there's a really great group of schools there. It's called Karate Atlanta, and they have about 18, 19 schools now. They go with a much lower you know base salary, but their profit sharing is insanely high, and they that way their guys can really be in a sense on the hunt for pushing the school forward as far as financially. So yeah, I think there's a lot of different really great ways to do that, but that's how we've structured it because we definitely want our teams to feel protected. Just because you have a bad month doesn't mean you're a bad person, or and then because we're going to see it over the next 3 months or in that quarter and going, hey, you might need to readjust your priorities on where you're at,
Yeah,
right?
I think it
So,
does make them a bad person. I think you have one
so
bad month, you're a
you're
loser.
horrible.
You're a loser.
Get
You should
out.
quit. Go do something else. No, I got it. Obviously, everyone has a bad month here and there.
Yeah. So, but that way that too, that now they know that we've got their back, and I want them to know that because I've seen so many models where it's just off of a profit share or just off of how many students you sign up and or just off the gross. And they might be doing that, but then they're also having massive turnover because they're not working on their retention. They're not nurturing the relationships that they need to nurture to develop the students they want to develop, and then just really the communities they want to be a part of. Our like for us, our mission statement is to build champions of life. That means I can't just be good at teaching them karate. I got to actually invest into the people that you're teaching and being a part of. So, yeah, that's just part of how we align our culture with our compensation. Also, we want to make sure that we're there for them.
So what does your instructor training process look like? Because you have like, I think you have pretty clear outlines. Like I posted earlier, like last week or something, about like you should have an instructor roadmap, like how to go
Mhm.
from student to assistant instructor to full-time instructor, certified instructor to full-time instructor to manager to school owner, developer, all that stuff. And like obviously everyone's gonna have their different roadmap. It sounds like you have yours. So how do you structure yours and how do you actually implement it?
So that usually starts at a student level. Hey, do you want to? I mean, they're at the school, and you'd be a great candidate for our legacy program. And you get into our legacy program, and we have different callers that you have to go through and work towards as far as knowing the information on the floor, curriculum, how we develop the life skills in our classes, the structure of our classes, the formatting of our classes, learning how to run testing, the whole process, and it goes from like red collar to red black, black red black collar. Black would be a certified instructor, like with a thicker black collar. That'd be a chief instructor or like a lead at a school. And as they go through that process, we have different skill sets that they have to acquire and do to go through that process. And once they get there, as they come into those last two steps, if this is something they would like to maybe possibly do as a career, we start presenting that to them as well, going, hey, would you be interested in opening or going out and doing another location with us? And that way it gives them the opportunity to step in fully as a career, and then we have the next roadmap that goes from there. That's more obviously business structured than just kick and punch.
Is this like presented publicly, like everyone knows the steps, or is this like based on conversation, invitations?
So our legacy program is presented publicly. Everybody knows the steps.
Okay. Is that
So
like something you
so
have hung up in your school or emails? Like, how do you actually share it?
it's a part of our it's part of our just whole structure onto our goal really isn't to get you to black belt anymore. Our goal is to get you to mastership. So it's a part of our structure into mastership. Because for me to get you to the mastership in our association in the ATA is about 25, 30 years or so, right? So it's going to take you that process. But through that process, you have to become a certified instructor. And you might become a certified instructor with me at Integrity Martial Arts, but you go, you know what? I love helping at Integrity Martial Arts, Jesse. I love the school, love the culture, love the community, love being a part of it, love that my family gets to be here. I love to have impact, but I'm the VP of the Bank of New York. I don't want to do this for a living. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. Uh, um, but it gives them the structure and that pathway forward because, man, I do love training and I do love martial arts and I do love the opportunity it provides for me personally too. And I would love to become a master instructor at your school. Okay, cool. So we do put it out, and it's just part of our system as far as what we have in our I would say on the walls, yeah, at the school. Yep, it gets emailed to them. We have videos that go out and automated drips that go out to all of our students so that as they go through the process, hey, this is something you should be looking at. We would love to be a part of your life for this extended period of time if you want to be a part of our life for extended period of time. And now this is what the program includes, and this is the access you're going to get to the different programs in our schools.
I love how you think about it in such a longer time frame. Like you're not thinking, okay, how can I get students to black belt? You're like, how can I get them to mastership? Like 25 years. Like most people do not
Right.
think in those time frames. I think that's so cool because whenever I talk to multi-school owners or they're trying to become multi-school owners, or they're just trying to expand the operation they already have,
Right.
one of the things I talk about is like stop focusing on getting more students, start focusing on getting more instructors. And you do that automatically, you'll get more students because you'll have better and obviously they have to be high quality. It can't just be
Right.
bodies on a mat. But if you focus on the instructor base, you automatically build the student base because you can have people that can open more locations, that can help more students. And the fact you're thinking 25 years, like I don't think about that at all. I think it's freaking awesome. Like I the student comes
So
in, yeah,
yeah, absolutely. And you know what's so cool about it is that if I want to add, I have to worry about what leads are coming in.
right.
That's super important. You gotta do it. And I mean, obviously, you know, you've been giving a great service to the martial arts industry because a lot of people are finding so much value in what we're doing, and that adds to your school. But if you want to multiply, you have to create instructors. That's
Mm,
the bottom line.
mm,
That's the bottom line. And leadership is about influence. It's nothing more, it's nothing less. It's just influence. I have my job is to be a great influence into those leads that you brought in, that you added to our schools, so that I can influence them in a positive way to go, hey, over the next 20 years of your life, God willing, you're going to be alive. You may as well get something more out of it than just your black belt.
mm,
You're going to get your black belt. All you have to do is follow the process. You might fail a couple times along the way, but we're never not going to say no. We're going to maybe say not right now,
mm,
but it doesn't mean no. It means not right now. 25 years from now, if your kid starts at 5, they're only 30. That's not even half of their life. Wouldn't you want your child to be a part of this for the next 30 years of their life? Well, when you put it that way, yeah, of course. Well, that we have to future cast just like we have that map of how to go from white belt to black or from, this level instructor to this level instructor or this, part of our business to multi-school owner. That has to be mapped out. And what we've done a really good job of, I feel, is mapping that out. And some of that has to come down to like even your attrition rate, right? Because we all have attrition. We're all losing students. We all lose students. You can't stop it. Um, but if the national average is 5%, what if I could just lower it to 4%? That totally changes how my business operates because of how big that hockey swing goes up, right?
mm,
Because it's 1% of attrition is huge.
mm.
I would rather continue to focus on keeping those members and putting them on a longer time frame with me than just continue to pound members in the door. Now, do we need members in the door? Absolutely. But man, if I could keep those members for longer, the relationships I'm building and what we end up getting out of it too as Integrity Martial Arts is just as big as what they're getting out of it also.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love how you think in the long term. So if you're listening to this right now and you're thinking like, hey, I want to expand past one location. First of all, if you're doing one location and what do you think like the minimum is? Like you should be doing revenue wise. Like obviously in different areas, what maybe 50K is like the minimum
I would think so. I think even more than just the minimum, it would be you'd have to be doing that minimum and then not
and staff.
required to be out of your school. Yeah, be at your school. If you still have to be at your school every day, you, not it's not if a fire happens, it's when the fire happens because it's gonna happen. If you're trying to bounce from one spot to the next spot, it's just not you're not ready. You got to have the systems and the staffing in place to make sure that it can run. Do that whatever you think that number is for your area and that way you don't have it's not tied to just you. If not, you just have another job.
Yeah, and you can't be like, oh, this one location's well staffed, and now I'm gonna open up this other one, and now they're both gonna be thinned out. And like, you know,
Right.
if one person gets hurt or gets abducted by a master ship from space, then they're not gonna exist.
Right.
Okay, then you're screwed. Like, you better, like, you should be crazy overstaffed, and like, you have to give this someone a position, otherwise they're gonna
And
leave. Like, that
And
should
when
be
you
the
I think so too, and especially, you know this from coming from a family that does martial arts. You want to build that bench deep, baby. I mean, that bench needs to be deep. And if you're talking about retention and you're talking about this 20 years down the road kind of plan, I'm not building it for right now. I'm building it for what I want it to be. A lot of times people are just building it for what it is right now. What do I want it to be in the future? I mean, I'll like my goal is to have 10 schools. I want to have 10 schools. But when we get to 10 schools, I have to put a number with it too. I would like to be operating around 10 million. Well, we're a little short of that right now. We're at 6 schools and we're at like 4.6. Okay. We got a little bit of work to do. That's fine. That's fine. But I'm thinking about building it to what I want it to be, right? So, hey, I can get out of my school this day and this day. I should open another school. No, you shouldn't.
yeah,
You need to have the staff developed, like you said, enough where you're going, I have 10 rock stars in my school, and I need to give them opportunity, or else they're going to leave
mhm,
to go do different. Either they're going to go work for somebody else, they're going to go open their own school, or I'm going to lose them to college. You're going to lose some kids to college, or whatever. Anyways, but if you don't at least have that bench that deep, and you're not able to continuously reproduce that bench to give opportunity, yeah, I would hold off on going to a second location because there is that line where if you just keep growing your one school, your profit margin is gonna be so much bigger because you're there
yeah,
than if you
exactly.
go to your second school and then you're just going, oh God, I thought I was gonna make double the money. No.
Yeah, you end up making half the money and twice the work.
Yeah, it's twice the work. It's
Yeah.
exactly right.
We're
So
going to transition here to some fun questions I want to ask you.
okay, all
Now
right.
we've exhausted some business talk. So,
There you go.
couple quick ones. You ready? Who would be on your martial arts Mount Rushmore?
My martial arts Mount Rushmore. You know who I really loved to watch, fight professionally was George St. Pierre.
Okay,
I
good
love
one.
I love watching him fight, and I love that I love the humility that he brings. I just love it. I've never actually got to meet him, but watching him talk, listening to him talk, just seeing him being interviewed a couple ways, I just really love that. Somebody that I've enjoyed really working with a lot lately is Jody. Jody has been a lot of fun to work with.
Okay, so you think
I've
he's
got to speak.
martial arts Rushmore? He should be in
He's
some.
pretty good,
Okay,
man. I
great,
mean,
good.
I
Yeah.
love watching him. Like, and I guess when I look at martial arts now, I don't just look at the physical skill set. I'm looking at how he mentors and how he leads people. Like,
Okay.
I really enjoy that. That to me is more powerful than the kick and punch. Um, I really enjoy.
By the way, Johnny, no hate. I was just asking if that for sure when he wanted you up with the Mount Rushmore. Don't beat me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should definitely be up there. That was good. Keep going.
You put him up there. Get him up there. Oh, it's
Good.
so funny. It's so funny. I'd have to think a little bit more about that question, but those two came in my head, and it's not really because of how they kick and punch. It's really just because of how they lead. And
How they
I've
lead.
got to speak a couple times with Jody at a couple of different spots, and he just does such a great job of it, and I really appreciate that from him. And then, like as far as like I'd say a next level leader, or next level person I've seen is GSP. I like watching him go.
There's no
So
Taekwondo master
I
you
like
know up
see.
there?
I know some like I would if I had to put somebody up there and I was basing it off of what the things I just said, I'd have to put my dad.
Okay.
And I know he's not really internationally known, but the way he comes into a room, the humility that he brings, he's not Grandmaster or anything. He's just Tony Isaacs. He's just Tony. And he can talk to anybody about anything. And what I love about my dad the last couple of years specifically is he's had 5 strokes. Five. And yeah, it's crazy. I know. And he was at a tournament this last weekend with us and he was signing autographs all day. All day, signed autographs.
Well,
And he talked to parents and talked to new members and just talked to these 1,000 people that came through the door all day long. And just the humility that he brings into the room is so powerful, and it's had a huge impact on who I want to be because I am a little bit more boisterous than him, and but it's so powerful for me to see because it's a great display of what I think a master instructor should really look like.
mm. Anyone else you
Um,
want to add up there? Usually it's 4.
four, yeah, I know. I
If
mean,
you want to
I'm
put
really
me up
struggling.
there,
I'm
no
really
big
struggling with
deal.
this question, man.
Yeah.
Um, no, not that I can think of.
All
I
right,
just
let's
don't
stick yours
really.
to 3.
Yeah, well, I mean, who are your four?
Oh, we gotta do that another time. Next one.
No.
Next one. Next one, right? If you could get rid of 3, or sorry, if you had to get rid of one martial arts weapon, what would it be?
One martial arts weapon, what would it be? As much as kids love them, I'd probably have to get rid of nunchucks.
Nunchucks?
Yeah,
Why
man. When are
nunchucks?
you walking around with nunchucks?
I'm almost always, but okay. Do you? No, that's
They're in the
fair.
back of my car over here.
No, not
Hold
the
on,
back of my
please.
car.
Stop touching me.
Nah, they're tucked in my pants. They're not in the
That's
back of
so
my car. I
funny.
got quick release on that one.
Hey,
Um,
we're in Florida now. It's like we don't need a concealed permit anymore. Just pop your nunchucks out.
that's right. All right, one more. Name a martial arts move that looks cool but sucks in a real fight.
Looks cool, but sucks in a real fight. In our one in one of the Sangam forms that we have, there's an eye gouge.
Yeah,
It's it's.
you
I
never.
just think,
What? It's not accurate enough.
yeah, who's gonna put that? Who's gonna start doing this in the last
Yeah,
real fight?
yeah. Exactly. You start
All you can
going
do
and
is break your
breaking your.
finger.
Yeah, exactly. Also, you don't want like that eye goo over your hands. That's not good.
Well,
Yeah.
whatever. That's so funny that you ask these questions. Which one do you think?
We have a move Kempo karate, which is like my
Uh-huh.
where I started. We have a lot of like face rakes where it's like this,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah,
the
yeah.
tiger kata. Yeah, like
Yeah.
what is that? Like if I don't
Uh-huh.
have the fingernails to do it anyway, I'll just leave them
Right.
fingerprints for the police. So I'm not doing that. I would say that's one
Yeah.
we get rid of.
You
Um,
get you get these spear hands to the eyeball kind of thing. Like,
yeah,
yeah, all
there's a
right.
lot. There's some ball. There's some ball rips. There's some ball rips in
Yeah.
there. Like yeah, I'm not practicing those or doing
Upset
anything.
ridge hand to the groin.
Oh, yeah, but that's like, all right. If I'm low, I could see myself going up like that. Um. Anyway, well, thank you so much for coming on here. If someone had any questions, they wanted help, want to ask you whatever, how do they find you?
You could email me straight up, man. My email is jisaacs, ISAACS at integrityata.com. You can hit me up on Facebook or Instagram. Just shoot me a message. I think my handle is jesse.isaacs.ata on both of them. So you just hit me up there, and I'll be more than happy to get back to you guys. I get back to everybody usually within the day if I can. I'm traveling a lot in the next couple of weeks. Going down, like I said, Key West for vacation, but then I'm popping up to Pittsburgh, and I got to go out to California. Going to be in the beginning of next year down in South Africa again. Just going to be traveling quite a bit. So if I don't get back to you quickly, it's just probably because I'm on the road. But
Yeah. Well, he doesn't
yeah,
like you. Whatever. One of the
yeah,
two.
yeah, yeah.
Or doesn't like
I'll
you.
send you.
So,
I'll send you to Johnny. Let Johnny take care of
yeah,
it.
that'll take care of you.
So
So my name is Matthew. If you need any help, you can email me, matthew@wdojo.com, or visit wdojo.com to learn how to recruit 30 new students in the next 60 days without ads. Now it's back to school time, or actually kind of past back to school. School's in full session. If you want to learn how to recruit new students, instead of waiting for them to just show up magically through Facebook ads or your website, tired of just relying on that stuff and want to go take control again, reach out to me. I'll show you how we can do it so you can too. Thank you guys for listening. Bye.